If you're struggling to sell name brand items on Amazon FBA, guys, you are not alone. Many sellers are gated on these name brand items, which really limits their potential profits. But what if I told you there was an easy way to get ungated on any name brands? I'm gonna share with you the exact strategy that I used to help me sell over $1 million last year, selling name brand items like Lego, Nike, Lululemon, and so much more. This strategy is simple yet effective and can work for any seller regardless of your experience level. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get it. First, let's understand what is gated means on Amazon. So like over the years, Amazon sellers have come up with different jargons or slangs, and gated is one of them. Being gated means that you need approval for a brand before you can start selling it on Amazon. So ungated, it means that you have properly obtained the permission to sell that specific brand on Amazon FBA. Many sellers avoid the ungating process because they think it will take too much time and effort. But in reality, it's really simple and pretty straightforward. There's two main reasons why it's important for you to start selling name brand items on Amazon FBA. Number one is you're gonna get way higher profit margins. So there's this thing called the mere exposure effect. So the mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon in which people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. In social psychology, this effect is sometimes called the familiarity principle. So this is why name brand items typically have more profit margin in them versus some private label that you've never heard of. That's because shoppers and consumers are familiar with them and they trust it, thus they can ask for a higher premium price. So example, think if you were gonna go to the grocery store and if you had to buy a soda. Here's the question. Would you pick Coke/Pepsi or some random store brand item? I guarantee you 99% of the time you're gonna pick the Coke/Pepsi because you know it. Everyone trusts it. It's the same idea goes for Amazon. Yes, there could be better products out there and we can surely debate that, but that is not the point. So knowing this is definitely our advantage to start selling name brand items. Number two reason for you is they sell fast. I want my items to sell fast so I can get paid. I'm sure you do as well. Which means when a customer shops on Amazon and when they're doing their search, name brand items tend to rank higher just because they're gonna have more reviews and more exposure, resulting in faster sales. So if you're serious about making money on Amazon, it's important for you to get ungated on many brands as possible so you can take advantage of them. So now let's get into the specifics step-by-step on how you can get ungated on a specific brand on Amazon. And I'm gonna show you that right now. First is we're gonna check the brand to see if you can get auto ungated. Each Amazon account is different and sometimes you can get auto ungated on a brand by just trying to apply for it. The reason for that is not all brands are gated, so it doesn't hurt till you try it. And you can do this by going to the Amazon Seller Central dashboard and searching for the brand by adding the product there. And if it's gated, it will say you need approval to list this brand. So here we have Nike here, and if I check show limitation, it's only limiting me to refurbished conditions, and I can't sell refurbished condition. If I sell new and used, I can obviously sell that right there. Okay, and you can just press sell of this product. So you can see the difference of what being ungated looks like. In order to get ungated on a brand, you need to meet some sort of requirements. And these requirements can vary depending on how new your seller account is. So what are the usual requirements? These requirements vary depending on the brand, but they typically include having an invoice dated within 180 days when you're submitting it, the name and address of your source, aka where you're buying it from, your name and address matching the information in your Amazon selling account, a good seller rating with some sort of sales history, and lastly, a combination of purchase of at least 10 units for that brand that you're trying to ungate. So for example, if you want to start selling Nike, you need to purchase at least 10 units of the same items for you to qualify when you're submitting the invoice or receipt to Amazon. The reason Amazon gates new sellers especially is because it prevents counterfeit or fraudulent sellers from making a new account every single time. So that's why they want to see some sort of history and of course a legitimate source where you're purchasing these items. Speaking of that, the next step for you is to find a reliable source. It's important to find a source that is reputable because that's gonna provide you with a valid invoice or receipt for you to submit to Amazon. So if they do question if that item is fake or fraudulent, you have a proof of evidence that it was a real authentic item that you're selling and sent to Amazon FBA. So to get ungated in our Nike example, you can use Nike.com. You can even go in store, and remember to purchase at least 10 units of the same items. Kohl's.com is another website to do it. Foot Locker. So retailers like this are going to provide you similar invoice or receipts that you can definitely use for you to ungate a Nike product. Again, Amazon is very strict about counterfeit products, so make sure you're only selling genuine, real products when you're sending it to Amazon FBA. If you want to sell name brand toys, a great website is eedistribution.com. It's basically a wholesale for name brand items for different kinds of toys. So first, you're going to create an account here. And after you create an account, that's when you have access to the catalog of name brand items on their website. So you can see right here, they have Funko, which is a popular brand. They also have Fisher-Price. That's another good one right there. Bandai Namco, Mattel. And you can see there's a whole list down here on the website. They have Star Wars, Power Rangers, Transformers, so on and so forth. So this is definitely a great website and very reputable for providing you a valid invoice. And for everyday grocery or beauty items, wholesale.frontiercoop.com is a great website for that. So once you get on their website, you can shop by brand. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, they have a lot of brands here. One brand that you can notice immediately is Burt's Bees. So it's gonna pull up all the Burt's Bees here. Keep in mind, order 10 items of the same items for each brand that you want to get ungated on. And if you want to go down further in the rabbit hole, you can even search local wholesalers within the area. So I live in Florida, so I'm going to search, Florida local grocery wholesalers and distributors. Okay, so I can start my search here and see where the different places in the area that I can use in terms of a specific brand I'm wanting to sell, and open up an account. That way you can have an access to their catalog and then just take it from there. So the last step is getting your invoice approved. So once you had found a source, depending on the category that you're trying to ungate or the brand, they're usually going to send it to you in your email/PDF form, or if not, once you receive the package itself, it's going to come with a PDF printout which you need to scan, for that way you can have access to the invoice that you're going to submit online to Amazon.com. And once you submit your invoice, it's going to take a few days for Amazon to either approve or deny it. So keep in mind the timeline that's going to take. So we're going to try to get ungated on Lacoste here. So we're going to press new and apply to sell. As you can see right here, we are not approved to sell Lacoste, so we're going to request approval. And so sometimes if you're auto ungated, it's going to approve you immediately. If not, it's going to ask for further information. So you can see right here, we have two options. So first is one purchase invoice for products from manufacturer distributor. Second one is a letter from Lacoste authorizing you to sell their products. So we're gonna click the first one, and that's gonna be majority of your case. And as you can see, these are the requirements as we had talked earlier. You're just gonna head and check every single one. And drop files is you're going to upload the invoice that you had received, whether from an email or an actual letter. And that's pretty much it here. If you have any other question, they even have a video that kind of helps you. And then you just attach your email and phone number here, and you're going to hit submit. And it's going to take a few days or sometimes a week to get approved for the invoice. So you need to be patient in terms of that. Another tip in terms of ungating is you need to start the process early, as it can take a while for approval to happen. Another one is to be persistent. Sometimes you submit an invoice and it can get denied for whatever reason. Keep applying and keep resubmitting it. It happened to me so many times, and as long as you have a legitimate supplier or source and your invoice is good, keep and continue resubmitting it. It can get approved. Different Amazon employee takes a look at those, so it's just a matter of time for it to get approved. So definitely be persistent and continue submitting it. I'll see you later.